Okay, so this drawing is in another tutorial about how to ink. If you're interested in how to ink, go see that tutorial. If you have no idea what this shrimp is and why he's on a bicycle riding backwards, go to another video and I drew it. But now we're going to paint it. So let's get busy painting. All right, what do I do with my painting? Well, first of all, the paper that I use is not a watercolor paper exactly. It's just a little thicker. So it's a little bit thicker than a piece of paper from your printer. This is multi-use paper. It's quite cheap. I love cheap paper. You can also use poster board whenever you're drawing. So I'm going to use watercolored pencils. All right. I don't have a grand plan for either what kind of pencil. I just use these. These seem to work fine. All right, whenever you're coloring these, shrimp is going to be kind of classic shrimp color, kind of pink and red. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color in lightly this guy right here. Okay, and so you can do this with just regular old, back in my day, we called them map pencils or just colored pencils. I guess they called them map because we were supposed to color maps with them. And I don't know. I didn't color that many maps, but we called them map pencils. So you can just color this guy in, and you don't have to color hard. Oh my goodness, I just broke a lead here on live TV. Sharpening. I also recommend having a sharpener. If you're going to have a pencil, you should probably have a sharpener. Good. All right, here we go. So we're gonna have just these guys go in light, and you don't have to color the whole thing, okay? Because remember, we already have some darks going in here with the dark lines, or with the heavy ink lines. So that's kind of giving me an idea of where my shadows are. The most important thing about drawing is knowing about where your lights and your darks are. That is what makes your drawing stand out. So wherever these darks are, I'm going to color and push it in just a little bit harder. Right? I'm going to make the color just a little bit darker. I'm going to go in here. So I've got my tail. I'm just going to go. I don't have to color everything. Just a few pieces. Okay, because the water is going to smear this around and make it look cool. So the other thing that you want to do, I'm going to give his arms so we know where arms are. The other thing that we're going to do is going to change colors. It's because you can mix the colors, which is super fun. So I'm going to add kind of a dark red. So I'm going to do the same kind of idea, but only in that dark spot will I add the red. And these things are going to smear together, and it's going to be super fun. Hey Brady, why aren't you coloring the eyes? I don't color everything, because if you color everything in an image, it just gets so busy. And that is something that I really believe in, is you only color one or two things. Like, so this is, I'm going to color the shrimp, and we'll see if I need to color other stuff. But don't color everything, because you got to let your colors breathe. Because if you color absolutely everything, it just gets too busy. It gets kind of a mess. So I'm coming in here with the darks, and gonna just lightly touch it in on that. So now, that guy's probably ready to roll. Maybe I put a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit on the antenna. All right, that seems good. So probably I want the helmet too, but what I'm not going to color is the hair. So I'm not going to color the hair and the helmet and the shrimp, because if I colored this part right here, you can't really even see that part, because if it's also the same color, so you can't see it. So I'm going to leave it blank so that you can see it. Same thing with the hair. If I colored the hair brown, it's going to look a mess, and we don't want a mess. We want awesome, and we just do our very best to find awesome. Here we go. The light is kind of coming a little bit like this, or no, where's the light? The light's coming this way. So I'm going to color, and you can see where the light's coming because it's got dark fat ink lines here. So I'm gonna color around this part and make it dark here, and make it lighter towards the edge. This edge, Yanni, this edge. There we go. All right, and then you can even mix this up again. You know, put a little bit of a, what do I want to do? Do I want to keep the chin strap? I'm not going to color the chin strap. You know why? Because I don't want to. Because I want it to, if I color the chin, well, no, I do want to color it. Man, that's what art's about, is just trying to figure out what you're going to do. You don't ever know. Oh yeah, I totally need to color the chin strap. See, I didn't know if I needed to color it or not. Turns out I do need to color it. Super helpful. Okay, we've got this symbol here, and I'm gonna make it purple. And it's also gonna be cool because this symbol is gonna kind of bleed into the blue here whenever I wake these colors up. So it's gonna kind of bleed in together and it'll look cool. All right, what else do I need? I think I'm gonna color these vans, in part because I like vans and I wanna give them the props that they are due. So I'm gonna color them. I don't wanna use too many colors, I don't wanna color them blue. So some of the cool vans have like this awesome checkered pattern, and this is kind of like your old school skate shoe. And I always wanted to be a skater, never was a good skater. I was a terrible skater. And so I'm just doing this as an ode to my former self, because I sure did want to be a cool skater. All right, so these guys, all right, he's gonna have this kind of checkered thing. And Vans have white soles, so I'm gonna leave that blank. And then these little dingly things, I'm gonna make them purple, because I'm going to keep the same color pattern. One of the other things that you want to do is kind of choose your colors and figure out what colors you want to. You don't want to use every color in the rainbow. You want to have kind of a color palette. That's something that I'm not terribly good at. That's something I'm growing and learning how to do. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is wake these guys up. So I'm just going to take a brush. Any kind of brush will do. Take water. Any kind of water will do. And you just paint it. Right? And so this guy, you're waking this color up and it's getting much more brilliant. And you want it to get all sloshy around, and when these colors mix together, you want that. And because that's the fun thing about watercolor, is that it's just like, it gets all together and it gets all gushy. All right. And then that ink is now on your, sorry about the light here. When that dries, it won't be there. And this blue is now on my brush. I could rinse it off, but that's not fun. I'm gonna just let all the colors just go bananas, you know, because that's one of the beautiful things about watercolor, is that, you know, whenever they all mix together and do all kind of crazy stuff, you get results that you didn't plan, and a lot of times they're awesome. All right, look at that. I didn't color this all the way up right next to the antenna because I'm trying to let it breathe. Wake these guys up, wake these guys up. All right, then come down here, wake these guys on up. Like, morning time, it's time for color, excitement. So here's the thing what I did. Look, I'm trying to let this color breathe in here. And I colored his belly because I needed it to know that that's shrimp belly. So now what I'm gonna do is I rinsed my ink off, and I'm gonna just I'm gonna put some water in here to kind of try to make the colors get all swirly girly up on them. And I'm gonna bring this in, and oh man, that's great, because that actually starts acting like a shadow. And this also kind of like throw it in here for some shadow effect. All right, let's wake these guys up. Your Vans. Hey Vans, morning time. Oh, wake up. All right, and so they're gonna bleed a little bit, and that's cool. You want them to do that. Then, all right, that shrimp is looking sharp as far as I'm concerned. Probably what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it just like this. Except for maybe I'm gonna make some dirt because I want it to be a little bit of ground here. And then, oh, it's my pencil, not my pencil, paintbrush. So I'm gonna let that guy kind of swirl around, get all gooshy. Oh man, look at that, see? Ooh, it's just kind of fadey and gooshy, and it just looks so alive. And there you go. And so if I painted also the bike's probably not gonna be that exciting, but so either, you know, this brings attention to the shrimp and it gives you some difference. If you color everything, it doesn't look that good. So figure out what's most important here. And for me, the most important thing was the shrimp, and I was using that. So I hope that you enjoy this. And if you like us, please give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and I will keep making more of these. I'll give you a little shot of this without the glare. It looks a little better that way. All right, talk to you later. Bye.